Hey again, everyone. So in this segment, I will be answering the following question. What is polymorphism? I scoured the internet and I found two great definitions for polymorphism. Definition 1, polymorphism refers to a programming language's ability to process objects differently, depending on their data type or class. Okay? And definition 2, which is really the same as definition 1, but worded slightly differently. Polymorphism is the provision of a single interface or to entities of different types. These definitions are very high level and they are correct. Usually the simple way that I try to think of it is that in a programming language, Ruby is our example, you have objects of different types that each respond to the same method or interface. I'll say that one more time. In a language like Ruby, polymorphism means that you have several objects or more than one object and each of these objects responds to the same method. All right, like most concepts, I think this will be best explained by example. But before I do that in the next segment, I'm quickly going to go over the benefits of polymorphism. Here are two main ones. First, it simplifies our code, and we will see this in the following two segments. Number two, and this is somewhat of a tangent to this video, but I think it is worth mentioning anyway. Polymorphism helps us adhere to the single responsibility principle. SRP is somewhat outside the scope of this video, but if you're really interested, I provided a link to a PDF, an academic paper that explains the SRP and the benefits of SRP. But very quickly, here the two main benefits of SRP, or two major benefits of SRP, is that code that adheres to SRP have increased maintainability, readability, and testability. The second one is that the side effect of adhering to SRP is that there is less coupling of responsibility. If a class has more than one responsibility, then the responsibilities are coupled. Changes to one responsibility may impair or inhibit the class's ability to meet the others. And this kind of coupling ultimately leads to a fragile design that can break in unexpected ways when changed. In other words, classes that are coupled are more likely to break when you inevitably in the future have to make changes to that class. And so how does this tie back to polymorphism? Well, a side effect of implementing polymorphism in your code is that you sort of automatically adhere to SRP principles in your code design. And so these are two really, really big benefits. In short, in summary, polymorphism will help you have single responsibility code and cleaner code that is easier to read and maintain. Before I go into the next segment, I want us to take a quick look at this Ruby class. And this is the class that we will be using for future lessons. And so let's read this line by line. So we have a class called athlete, and it has a play method. Currently, as written, this play method accepts an argument of type. It outputs this string to console, and now we see a big a big conditional chunk where we check the type, and if the type is tennis, you output this string. If the type is basketball, you output a different string. And if the type, if you happen to be a Canadian curler, you output this different string. And so finally, just to go over what the problem of this code is, well, it violates SRP. The athlete class is doing a lot. It is both determining what type of athlete is passed into the play method, and it plays itself. It itself has its own play functionality, which is outputting this line to console. And so there's some hard to read conditional logic, and this is somewhat of a problem. And so in the next couple lessons, we will be implementing polymorphism to clean up this code. All right, that's the end of this lesson, and see you guys in the next.